Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Rue Mapp, and I have a couple of different hats, which I'll get into. But first, I'd like to thank Carolyn and the National Parks for the invitation and support to be a part of this very important and very timely conversation. I'm the Youth Investment Program Officer at the Stewardship Council. It's a private public foundation in California that gets funds to youth programs and also builds parks and playgrounds, really focused on connecting underserved and underrepresented communities to the outdoors. I came to the Stewardship Council, however, through the work I do as Outdoor Afro. I'm the founder of Outdoor Afro, which is a social media community designed to reconnect African Americans to the outdoors. It came on the scene in 2009 when social media was very, very suspect. Lots of people were not sure about why this was important to use and how we might strategically use it to connect with relevant audiences. It's grown tremendously in popularity. It's got a core demographic of African American women between the ages of 35 and 44 who have a tremendous impact and influence in their communities around how we decide and prioritize our leisure time and time in nature. But we also are very culturally relevant. We talk about hair care, the things that can keep people from engaging with nature and having really frank conversations about all of the different issues through blogs, through storytelling, videos, and pictures. And it's also about recreating, or rather reimagining, who engages with the outdoors, reshaping the image of who's outside. So you'll see hundreds and hundreds of pictures of Black and brown people doing all kinds of things in the outdoors. And so I'm really a big proponent of pushing out new visions of outdoor engagement. So that's why I'm here, and it's important now, I think, for a lot of the reasons said before. Now is the time. Now is the time, even though the work we have all done, that we do, is on the shoulders of people who've been at this for decades. It's the tipping point, and there's a readiness to hear this message and a readiness to act, unlike ever before. And in my lifetime, I want to go out with my 3 children who are aged 8, 9, and 14 and see people who look like me and who look like them, and it's no big deal. That's what I want in my lifetime. And I'm also proud to say that, I practice what I preach. My kids are the lab for this work. I'm a single mom. I'm a single African American mother, and I do it. And I talk about how we do it. And my son, fortunately, was able this summer to participate in Point Reyes program under Ernesto Pepito. And I'm proud to say that his first paycheck was from a national park.
Wow.
So this is my whole life. This is why I'm on the planet. And I'm very privileged to be in this room with all of you.
Good morning. I'm glad for day for my first time in Colorado and things like that. I bring on a greetings from women that they're from in the Gullah Geechee Nation. I the Queen Quet, I the head from the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation and things like that. So when the yeti me crack my teeth like this year, when I have to lean forward because they ain't going to help because this year the Gullah. So when you hear me speaking that way, that's our language. So leaning forward won't help you understand it. But I'm the chiefess and the head of state for the Gullah Geechee Nation. The Gullah Geechee Nation exists from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida. We live in the Atlantic Ocean on the islands called the Sea Islands. I am also the founder of the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, which was the first organization in the world to exist to actually advocate for the continuation of our culture. A lot of what this gentleman has said has gone on in the Gullah Geechee Nation in terms of displacement, and especially displacement by government agencies and by tourism. And so it was very important for us to go forward with letting the world know, as we say, who we da danya, so who we actually are, where we live. And so as part of the journey that God has had me on, is the reason I believe that I received the invitation from Dr. Carolyn Finney, our chair here, to say, come and be a part of something that is my everyday life, making things relevant. If it's not relevant, I don't need to be a part of that. I feel like every moment of time is a blessing. And so we need to make it relevant to somebody in some way. And so in terms of actually why is this important, I believe it's important to me because I believe it's divine timing for why we're here. And the journey that I've been on for the past 17 years, connecting to realize it wasn't just about Yogi Bear on television, but there were these real rangers and a system that didn't just have parks with bears in it, but actually have things that I'm now also an expert commissioner for in national heritage areas. The Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor runs through the Gullah Geechee Nation, and I was the person that brought the concept forward to say, what can be done by Congress to help my people stay on our land? And it resulted in this national heritage area. Today, they're actually revealing to the public our draft of the general management plan, and I'm the general management plan chairperson. But the divine order was for me to be here and not there. I could type what I had to say to them, but it was more important to take this into the next century, into the next generation. And what I've seen, even since I've been on this journey, just to get here yesterday, was I got confirmation of divine order because the magazine on the plane was about the top 10 national parks. Okay? And so then the name of the magazine is Sky. And I felt like the sky was the limit in terms of what we could do to make national parks and the National Park Service as a whole, including the national heritage areas and our national recreation areas and everything, relevant to the next generation. So out of my culture, we do quilting. And what I saw last night is what I see in the room today are the patches from me starting off with the Underground Railroad Network to Freedom to ending up here in this room now with all the other Park Service things I've been on, were the patches that God was just placing before me. So I'm praying that in the center of the circle today, we pick up the needles and the threads and sew together a fabulous quilt that we'll take to all these meetings that we're going to plan. And that truly, the blessing will be in how the mosaic plays out in the minds of others, and that they'll sew on the next patches for the next generation.
My name is Leanne, and so I'd like to welcome you again to Rocky Mountain National Park. We're just now getting to the Beaver Meadows entrance station, and if you look to the left, the highest mountain in the park is coming into view. Wow! Does everyone know the name of that highest mountain? Long's Peak. And what is the elevation of Long's Peak?
Oh yeah, 14,200 and...
Too close. Not quite 14,500, it's 14,259.
Oh, you were close, David. Wow.
And up to a few years ago, it was thought to be 14,255 feet. And as the story went, the USGS folks down in their office in the Lakewood area could see the mountain out their office windows, and when better satellite measuring came along, decided to GPS it, and lo and behold, it was 4 feet higher than we originally thought. So better going up than going down, I guess.
Yeah. Woohoo.
So this mountain is one of 54 14ers in the state of Colorado. And Colorado, of course, is known for high elevations. And this is the 15th highest, and also the farthest north of all of the 14ers. Yeah, I imagine right now, there's probably 100 or more people standing upon its summit.
Yes.
And we were up there with them. We would be looking out over an area the size of the state of Ohio from the summit, which means an area the size of the state of Ohio can see this mountain. And that's one of the things that makes Long's one of the most well-known mountains in Colorado, is it's visible for long distances across the plains. We've just turned onto the Bear Lake Road, and we're going to be heading up to Bear Lake. Right now, if you look to either side of the bus, you'll notice that the terrain is made up of kind of a variety of sizes and shapes of rocks. We are going over a glacial dump right now, and this is known as a moraine, evidence of of the glacial time period, and glaciers will typically leave piles of rocks of various size and shape. And then we will be dropping into Moraine Park, which is surrounded by these moraines.
In the midst of all of this discussion of the outdoors and relevancy, and then the noise that's brought in from the outside world, but people don't come to a place in space like this and just appreciate listening to God in each one of these ripples and this breeze. So where did I have to find a place of solace in the midst of all of this forest, but on a rock? So interesting. On a rock, a place where temples are built, where God's word can be heard. That's what I got out of this journey into these Rocky Mountains. Somewhere in the middle of it all, here's a stream. Something real, something tangible that people could touch and be cleansed within its midst. But yet, in the midst of their busyness, their attempts to understand that which may never be understandable in the human context, they miss this beauty of the simple sound of peace and listening to God's voice. Instead, there's chitter-chatter. There are photographs. There's noise. So a message that they could have heard had they just paused for a minute